What's up YouTube? Clutch 7 update. This is the genetic stripe Axanthic clutch that we've been waiting for. I know we've said, you know, this is the clutch we're waiting for this year, but there was probably 2 or 3 we were waiting for out of all of them. This is definitely the one. So the odds as far as what we got, in my opinion, are pretty good. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it and I'll show you everything we've got. So the odds on this clutch, the father, I found out after taking photos of these and sending them to the guy that I purchased it from. He realized he made a mistake when he sent me the pair. It worked out in my favor. He's happy he was getting out of it anyways. But the male is a pastel genetic stripe, visual genetic stripe, 100% het for Axanthic, VPI Axanthic. The female was a double het, both 100% for Axanthic and for the genetic stripe. So we have the option of getting pastels, we could get normals, anything that's not genetic stripe will be 100% het for genetic stripe, and anything that's not Axanthic will be 66% het for Axanthic. So the first one I'm going to show you, this one here is just a normal. It is going to be 100% het for genetic stripe and 66% het for Axanthic. However, if you look at the pattern on the belly, you'll see just the color, how white it is. I mean, in my opinion, I would say that baby's going to prove out for sure. Do I know? Obviously not. But if I was a betting man, I'd like to keep this in my collection, that's for sure. Alright, so number 2. This one is also a normal. So again, 100% het for G-stripe, 66% het for Axanthic, and it's our only female in the clutch. So I'm going to show you though the pattern on it. It's got some really cool alien heads around the neck, and yeah, another one I think with the way the belly looks, it definitely is going to prove out. Again, I don't know, but if it was mine to keep, which I don't know if we're going to keep it or not, but it's definitely one I'd be thinking good potential with. The alien heads. Look at this side. And then the belly. I mean, come on, this thing is crazy. I don't know if there's markers for Axanthic, but seriously, that's a cool animal right there. Alright guys, and the third one is going to be the last normal we got. And this one's actually a pastel. This was where, when we cut the clutch and we saw we had pastel, we were thrown off because I was unaware that the male was a pastel. So I sent the pictures to the previous owner, and he had to look back in his records, and that's when he told me he realized he sent me him and didn't tell me he was a pastel. So we're not complaining by any means, but it was definitely a shock to open the eggs up and go, what the heck is going on inside of these eggs? Now we know. Alright, now we're going to move on to the genetic stripe visuals. So the last 4 animals are all visual genetic stripe, which means they're going to be 66% het for Axanthic. Alright, so right here, 2 genetic stripes. This one I wanted to say was a pastel. Even though the head's not blushed, one of the characteristics of a pastel is this broken stripe for the genetic stripe. And this one almost looks like a leopard. I mean, it's so cool looking. Also has really high whites on the side. Okay, and then the second one here, as you can see, the pattern's not as broken on this one. It's a couple spots, but it's pretty much a full striped animal. So this one definitely is just a normal genetic stripe. we put it side by side with this one, and you can see the difference in the pattern. But again, because there's no blushing in the heads, I'm pretty confident these are both just regular genetic stripe. And again, 66% het for Axanthic. But I mean, look at the blushing on the sides of this one, and then the sides of this one. I mean, look at that's completely washed out there. So these two right here are going to be really nice, that's for sure. All right, guys, and the sixth one is going to be this beautiful pastel genetic stripe, and this one is 66% het for Axanthic again. So we're going to zoom in on this one. I'm going to show you the difference between this and the other two as far as the pastel goes. I mean, you can see in the color, but I'll show you the head as well, and then we'll talk about the sides. All right, so look at these three animals all together. You can see the differences. It's definitely very clear. This one is a pastel, and these two definitely do not have the same high color contrast to them. But then when you look at the head pattern, or the blushing I should say in the heads, and then the blushing in these two, oh, you know, the stripe on this one is broken as well. It does have a very bold border going around all the breaks. It's a little bit different than this one, obviously. And I look at the sides here, this one's got the blushing as well, plus a lot of pattern. I mean, look at the amount of pattern that's in this animal.
Almost like a cheetah.
It is definitely a lot different than most genetic stripes I see.
It's a beauty.
Alright guys, and last but not least is the animal we were hoping for. Actually, it's more than what we were hoping for. We set out to make genetic stripe Axanthic animals, and we actually got a pastel genetic stripe Axanthic visual. So obviously this is a holdback. It is the only one we made, and we're definitely keeping it, and it's a male. Alright, so obviously pastel with the blushing, the little highlight on the back, obviously Axanthic and genetic stripe. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. Again, look at the speckling on the back here. Okay, so we go back, this is a pastel. Now look at this one. Look at the pattern. So again, you know, I compare all these together, all four of these genetic stripes. They all look different in their own way. But I mean, solid stripe, broken stripe, very broken stripe, and then you get this one here, which is broken almost all the way down. It's broken until you get really to the back half of the tail there. So anyways, guys, we couldn't be happier with this clutch. We're excited to be able to share these animals with all of you. They obviously are just now out of shed today, so we're gonna get them set up in the tubs. We're gonna get them fed here next week, and hopefully in no time they'll be available to go to new homes. So if you're interested in any of the animals you've seen either in any of the other videos or in this video here today, go ahead and use the email address that's below in the comments. It's jdhreptiles@gmail.com. And then on top of that, we've got a couple other links down below, you know, to our Facebook, our Morph Market, and our Instagram. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out with us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification, because we do have at least 2 more clutches to come out of the incubator, and we're hoping for 1 or 2 more girls to go yet this year.